At just 20 years old, Ethan Gillanders already holds a third-degree black belt in Taekwondo, has been immersed in mixed martial arts since the age of 4, with experience in MMA, kickboxing, and Muay Thai. He's been competing in full contact since 2023, now stepping into a 175-pound kickboxing bout at Caldwell Fight Night 3, ready to showcase the skills he's been building over his life and in training. Welcome. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you got it. Hey, you've been training since you were 4 years old, is that right?
Yep.
Wow. Talk to me how you got involved in training at 4 years old.
So it all started with just trying to find an extracurricular activity for like after school. That way my parents didn't have to take care of us all the time at home. So what would happen is we get off school and they'd put us into these karate classes and we ended up falling in love with it. And so me and my brother both started off together, and we've just been training Taekwondo ever since I was 4, and he was, I don't know, like super young as well. And so eventually it branched off into my first kickboxing fight in 2023 to get some experience in that full contact realm. And ever since then, I've just been taking kickboxing fights as well as Muay Thai fights, just to get more experience.
Yeah. Well, the experience that you got in Taekwondo, I want to tap into a little bit, because that's a long time to be practicing that particular art form, right?
Yeah.
And not many 20-year-olds can boast in having a third-degree black belt either in that, I would say. What has Taekwondo taught you leading into where you're at now and applying that into other disciplines?
It's taught me on a fighting level very good basics for kicks and knowing how to throw those kicks with fast power and making them hurt when they land. Treating the kick like a whip instead of a bat all the time. On a more personal level, it's taught me how to be a better person, as well as helping out others and being respectful when I can, and having humility and being compassionate for others.
You know, word on the block is, I don't know how true this is, but I heard that you have an affinity with tortilla rollers and shins. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's that all about?
It's just to kill off the nerves in the shins. It makes it so that when you hit bone on bone, it doesn't hurt as bad. I mean, you're still going to feel it, but there's a huge difference between conditioning your shins and checking that kick versus when you don't condition your shins and you take that kick. It makes a huge difference when you're in the ring. Yeah.
So this new adaptation, if you would, into implementing Muay Thai into your arsenal just recently, right? Within the last 2 years, it's not that many years, but how has that changed or evolved your overall overall fighting style?
I will say with the introduction of Muay Thai, it's really introduced me to more elements of being in close with some sense of grappling. Because in kickboxing, you could just strike, get out of the way. If you get hurt, you just move away. If your opponent gets hurt, you just close the distance on them. You don't have to worry about them coming in to grab you and stall that fight. But with my first fight I had out in Washington, I found out that when you're fighting Muay Thai, it's a totally different ballgame, because if you get hurt or your opponent gets hurt, there is that ability to clinch or get caught in that clinch and maintain that closeness, preventing you from getting out and throwing those shots when they count. And so I've found that the experience has taught me that there's a whole new side to fighting than just striking. And so I'm really looking forward to getting in that, learning how to do the sweeps very well, and not just learn them, but be able to put them to performance when I can.
So jumping into this new arena within the last couple of years, then, like, what was it ultimately that caused you to do that? Was it just stepping up your level of competition or challenging yourself? Like, what is it?
I don't have a very specific answer for that. One thing I will say is I like training and leading up to the moment. I really enjoy how I feel physically once I'm done training, that feeling of achievement, not just that I went into the gym, but I went in and I trained my ass off and I worked hard to get to where I'm at. And with that, when it comes to the fights, I always find it awesome because I always get super nervous for fights. And so when I actually get in there and I get to put on a show and show off my skill, I find it really enjoyable to look back and be like, oh, I did that. Like, I did that. Win or lose, I love being able to compete and to experience that whole culture behind fighting.
Yeah. Is there any nerves coming up, for this upcoming bout?
I get nervous every time.
Yeah.
I get nervous every time, so nervous, but at the end of the day, when I get in the ring, whether I'm nervous or not, I gotta perform, and so that's what I plan on doing.
Yeah. Do you ever find yourself in that moment where you just kind of zone out and you forget and don't even know what's around you, or are you cognizant of everybody there?
So, my first fight, when I stepped in the ring, I blacked out, and I fought the whole 3 rounds unconscious. And then the second fight I had, I was fully there. So, all my experiences up till now, I've been mainly there mentally. And so in this upcoming fight, I'm planning on going in there and being mentally there and being able to plan and move around my opponent and think of ways to overcome any obstacles while I'm in that ring.
Yeah. Kickboxing is kind of a mix of precision and power, I would say, right? It's a mixture of that. What would you say is part of your arsenal that people should be looking out for when they come to watch you?
I don't know, my kindness, kill them with kindness. No. I would say kicks and moving around. I've been working on moving around a lot and using my kicks and just being able to pick apart my opponent one by one.
So hitting angles and finding the openings for it. Gotcha. Yeah. Who's been the biggest influence on your life, as a fighter that's been developing over the years? Or more than one.
There's a guy named Sterling Crawford, and he's the one that got me started in this. He was my first instructor, and he was teaching me ever since
Sterling?
I was 4. You know him?
Yeah, I know
Sterling Crawford. Yeah. He's the one that got me started.
Really?
Church Valley Taekwondo.
Yeah.
That's how I started.
Wow.
In this. And
Shout out Sterling.
Yeah, he's the main motivator. He's a big reason why I turned out the way I am today, not just as a fighter, but as a person.
Wow.
So he's one of my main
like a mentor.
Yeah, mentors.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. See, I love hearing stuff like that because it really does point to how important it is to have mentors, coaches in your life, having a family around you that supports you in your endeavors, and it really teaches you what it is to live life in community with people. So thank you for sharing that. At just 20 years old, you got a long road ahead of you. But what's some immediate things in your foresight that you're like, man, this is a vision for where I want to see my fight career go? Do you have aspirations in particular?
The dream would be to get into one championship. I feel like they have the best strikers in the world, and so that would be a dream of mine. Right now, though, I'm in the process of balancing my fighting life with my work, as well as school life now that I started school. And so for right now, fight-wise, I'm looking to stay in shape, take fights when I can, but not overwhelm myself. That way I could set myself up for my future outside of fighting as well. If I get that opportunity where I could take that road to become a professional fighter that makes a lot of money, I would love to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah. What are you going to school for?
So I'm going to school in hopes of becoming a dentist.
Wow.
And so right now I'm working on the prerequisites for that.
Okay. Better take care of your girl then.
All right.
Huh?
Yeah. Pearly whites.
Yeah. That's what's up. Well, hey, thank you so much for joining me, Ethan. I'm looking forward to catching you September 27th.
Thank you so much.
You got it.